Good morning. Welcome to TERRA at Home. I'm Leslie Stewart. I'm here with Dominique Stevens, and you're the supplements manager for the Goodness of Me location in Burlington. And perfect time of year. We're just inside November now, and even early fall, people are starting to get the sniffles and get those seasonal colds, right? So, but we know we're going to get into the real depth of the season now as we move in towards winter. So we want to talk about, I prefer, of course, the natural side of supplements, and I think a lot of people are starting to turn that way because some of the conventional stuff is a little bit scary, right? Especially for kids and that. So why don't we talk about, I think we're going to get to, we'll move across the table this way, but we're going to talk about preventing first, right? Because ideally, none of us really want to get colds and flus, right?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
All right,
yes.
so where would you start?
Yeah, in prevention, where I would start would actually be with probiotics. And what probiotics are they're good flora, good bacteria for our bodies. And the reason we need good bacteria is putting good bacteria in helps to push out bad bacteria, and it really, really helps to free up our immune system.
So that's one thing people are really starting to find out now, that it's all about our intestinal bacteria, right? Yes. So really, people really, so I take something like BioK, and I know that is supposed to be amazing, even for kids, right?
Even for kids.
Yeah.
Yep,
so how much would you give? I know they're like the little bottles. How much would you give a child, say, a toddler or a child between 6 and 8 years old? Would you give them just a little bit?
BioK, I probably do about a quarter of a bottle. These ones are the capsules, but
those are
we
capsules,
certainly
right.
have the bottle ones.
Right.
They're kind of like a little yogurt.
And they actually taste good.
They're not bad. And
Right.
you can mix them with other things too. You can mix them, make a little smoothie. You can mix them with some yogurt, just to ease up the taste a little bit.
Right.
They come in flavors. But yeah, maybe a little bit of a quarter of a bottle for a school-aged child.
I think that's great.
We definitely have probiotics that are in pill form, capsule form, chewables for children as well.
Okay, so that makes it easy. So really, everybody should be taking something like this.
Everybody should. It really helps to free up that immune system.
The good gut stuff,
Yes.
right? Okay, so moving on, what else is good that helps prevent?
To help prevent, then where we'd want to start is things like antioxidants. And what antioxidants are, they help to get rid of free radicals in our body. They help free up they help get rid of the junk.
Okay.
And we want to get rid of the junk because, again, that's going to help us. That's going to help our immune systems be stronger. It's going to let our immune systems be able to do more work.
Okay.
So things like olive leaf is a great antioxidant, resveratrol. We have the phytoberry mix, things like that.
And those are great. Yep. That's great to add. People make smoothies and they're adding that to it, right? So again, you're not really tasting anything terrible. And I think that's a lot of big fear for a lot of people is people have a taste or a texture issue with things, right?
Yes.
So, and something they can imagine, I have to take this every day and I don't really like it, but it's a lot easier now. There's so many different options and ways to take these things.
So much so. I would then certainly move to vitamin C. Everybody knows about vitamin C. Again, vitamin C, great for boosting your immune system.
Sure, and that makes sense, right? I mean, because you can really, especially if you're starting to feel like you're coming down with something, you can actually really kind of add a little bit more to your system, right? And your system uses what it needs, right?
Oh, it definitely does. And the nice thing, like vitamin C, comes in like powders.
Right.
And so you can mix it, again, in juices or yogurts or things like that for kids.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And again, it really is all about preventing. So that's kind of our first stages. And what are these actually?
This is key.
Okay.
Key can actually be preventative, and it can also work in like when we first start getting that cold. The nice thing with key, it's a mixture of 3 things: astragalus, shiitake, and olive leaf. So again, those things, astragalus helps to boost your immune system. The shiitake will really, again, help with your immune, like really building your immune system. Olive leaf, antioxidant, we had the antioxidant over there, olive leaf. So it's helping get rid of the junk, helping again with really making your immune system strong to help either prevent, so your body is stronger, or if you're starting to feel something coming on, it's really going to help to reduce those symptoms.
And that's actually nice. But again, it's always just nice to have those standbys, and people again are always just looking for another alternative, right? I find when we're coming out of summer and even into fall, we're still coming off of all those, everybody's eating so much fruit. So you're full of antioxidants, right? Because you're eating fresh vegetables and fruit, and then now body's depleted and you got to start filling it up with things, right?
We definitely do.
Okay, so moving on.
Moving on is, let's say we're starting to feel something coming on. We've done all this.
Right.
Or we haven't done all this, but we're starting to feel something coming on. So what do? We don't want to be sick for 2 weeks.
No.
We don't want it to keep repeating. That first sign of a cold, there's a couple things that are really, really good for that. Oregano oil.
Right.
Oregano oil, you start feeling that achiness, that sore throat. Few drops under the tongue, and do that several times a day. Usually what that does is it really, it's anti-viral, antibacterial. It'll really help to push that.
It really
push
does
that
work.
away.
It's definitely something I've been using for a long time, and it's so great because it's just so natural, and you can just kind of take a lot of it. Sure, it tastes a little crazy on your tongue, under your tongue, but it's way better than taking some toxic something, right?
Oh, it is, and anyone will express how well it works for them.
Right.
Also, it comes in capsules. We do have a spray that has some cinnamon in there, and it makes it taste a little better.
There
So
you go.
for people that really have a lot of trouble with the tincture one,
Right.
You can chase it with some water or some juice after.
Okay.
And so
it's good. That's good,
works.
and that's definitely a good one. I'm noticing you have sort of these natural ones as well, and I know they carry in for kids as well, right?
This is we call it oscillo. It's a really big word.
Shorten up the word.
I know. It's homeopathic. And what that means is it's really the energy of the herbs or substances that it's made from. So it's safe for kids, it's safe for adults, it's safe for anybody. People use it on animals, different ones.
Really?
But this particular one for adults or for kids, it's good for symptom reduction.
Okay.
So you get that cold or that flu, it really helps to reduce those symptoms so you feel better faster.
That's great. That's great. I've noticed also, of course, echinacea is a long standby for people.
Echinacea, of course. And echinacea, again, antiviral. It really helps with reducing those symptoms of a cold. You can take it preventatively as well to sort of help, again, with keeping things away. And again, when you have that cold, it really helps. We have it as well with Golden Seal. Makes it a little bit stronger. You wouldn't want to take that all the time, but during a cold, again, will really help reduce those symptoms.
And that's the great thing about oregano is that you can take oregano and echinacea at the same time, and it's not really going to...
You can.
Yeah. It's
I know.
natural, which is
as we try
take everything.
to feel better faster in a natural way.
Right, exactly. So I think we should definitely make a focus on some of the kids' products out here because myself having a little guy that's not even 4 yet, I know people are very concerned about cough syrups and that with kids, really, they shouldn't be having them. So there are natural alternatives.
We do. Again, homeopathic cough syrups. So they're made with natural substances. They're not filled with all those more harmful chemicals. They're sweetened with just things like honey and just natural sweeteners, not anything artificial. And we get such great feedback on how well they work and how much they soothe kids' coughs and colds.
It's so hard when you're a parent and you're looking for an alternative at night and they're coughing, and again, just have that little bit of honey. I mean, even they just say honey itself, right, helps.
It's quite medicinal.
It's nice to have that. So again, so many options. People can come into the store and talk to you, ask for you.
Absolutely.
You know your stuff, right? And then help people find individually what they need from vitamins right across the gamut. So thank you so much, Dominique.
Oh, thank you very much.
Some good information here. Again, this is the Goodness Me location, the new beautiful one on Fairview Street in Burlington, but they have Goodness Me locations all over the place. That's it for Terra at Home. We'll be back with more after this break.
Live color fully at Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning. Welcome back to Terra at Home. We're at a great little wool store here called the Wool Bin on Kerr Street in Oakville. And I'm here with Jen Taylor.
Hi there.
And hi. Now, your store has actually been around for 30-something years, but this is your newer location where you guys are now here. Yeah. And this is fun because we're talking about obviously knitting and the trends in knitting right now. Knitting's been around forever and a day, but it's sort of starting to really come back more mainstream now.
Oh yeah, you see, like when I go shopping, a lot of knitted items that they take the details from the old knitting, maybe Aran sweaters and that kind of thing.
Right.
They're really
Yeah,
seeing
that's true,
a
right? You're
lot,
starting to
yeah.
see all that coming back, and again, even
Yeah.
little kid sweaters, everything. You're really starting
Yeah.
to see all that in the mainstream shops. But now people are starting to knit themselves again too, right? Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So you're obviously seeing people coming in the store. What else are you seeing in terms of trends right now with style and color for fall?
For fall, I think a lot of the deeper colors, sort of like your sweater, for one thing. Nice neutral tones that go with that, and maybe like a harvest gold thrown in, or a deep aqua sort of
Nice.
thing.
Yeah, that's right, because you are seeing even those like, kind of those deep emerald colors, right?
Yeah.
The jewel tones and that for
It's like a toned down jewel tone, I think. And
Okay.
that's, to me, very
That's right.
appealing.
That's right. It's a little deeper,
Yeah.
richer, right?
Yeah,
Now, in terms of actual style and trends, besides looking at sweaters, I mean, sweaters, we're talking about the different types of knit, but
Right. A lot of people don't have the time, or
Yeah.
maybe even the skills, they haven't built them up. So we have a lot of projects, sort of like what I've got on, that can give you a sense of style and color, but are really easy.
Okay.
There's sort of that takes no time, but looks great
Right.
scarf that everybody wants to have, and knit for their friends.
And that's probably a good starting point for people as well, right? When you're first starting to knit, I mean, the last thing I would ever start doing is trying to make a sweater. The armholes would be like scary. But we'll get to the classes that they have here later, which is something that would be interesting to do. But so something like starting with a scarf seems to be like the neutral base. That's where people like to start, right?
And the thing I think that's new in knitting, or that's been growing for a while, is the beautiful yarn. You don't have to have
Yes.
just that plain yarn that every stitch shows. This is what I'm always telling people. The yarn's really forgiving. In the colors or the textures.
Right.
So you can feel free to make mistakes, or, just experiment, and it's going to look fabulous.
Right.
It's
Well,
very-
even the one, as you're saying, the one you're wearing, I mean, you
Yeah.
could see with all the different color
Yeah.
tones in there, like that's beautiful, right? You could get away with having some
Oh,
error.
there
and-
might not be a perfect stitch on every row in this.
Right,
one.
so there you go.
Right?
And so again,
Yeah.
that's easy. But the one you're wearing, actually, we should show. This is actually, it's a
This-
full loop.
This is a beautiful and very in style right now. This is basically the same thing as what I've got on, but it's a silk and a seaweed fiber, actually.
Oh.
That's something that we could talk about, is that
Yes.
the types of fibers. This is actually silk and cellulose from seaweed.
That's okay. That's interesting. I've heard that you can even they're using like shrimp shells and all kinds of crazy materials.
We have a shawl that we can maybe show that is made out of milk, actually.
Isn't that-
It's amazing. We've got bamboo,
And soy
the shrimp,
and-
soy, corn, different things, because they're all fibers, plant
Love that.
fibers, just like cotton.
And a lot of that is a little bit more of a renewable source, and it's a little bit better for the environment, some of the approaches that they have with some of these. But, again, it's not just about the traditional wool anymore when you're seeing fabrics like that. And it's hard to believe that something could be made out of those types of materials and be as soft as they are.
Exactly.
Some of them, right?
And silk is gorgeous because you can wear it all year.
Right,
you
it's
know?
very cooling,
Yeah.
right? It's
and,
temperature.
and knitting all year too is something that I only knit 12 months a year.
That's it, right?
Yeah,
I
so-
love that. Well, we should talk also about one area of your store that's a huge focus that you and your fellow coworkers were saying is the baby area, because people love to knit, whether it's a mom knitting for a child or a grandparent, a friend. It means a lot.
Exactly. And after you've made a few scarves and you're ready to jump to your first project, a baby sweater is a beautiful thing, because you learn a lot, and yet you've kind of shrunk it down into a manageable size.
It's true, right? Doll size. So
Yeah.
but that's interesting.
And there's the motivation of the baby. Yeah, we love when people come in and they're so excited. They're having their first grandchild or their first child, and we've got gorgeous patterns with beautiful babies and.
Yeah,
helps,
and it makes it and now speaking as you say, the motivation to finish is something else.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have undone projects all over their house of where they start something and they just kind of lose a little passion, right? Because it's just
That's the hard part.
so that's where you guys can help too, right?
Definitely. We get a lot of people struggling. They'll come in and say, "Oh, I can knit, but I'm not happy with the way, I put it together." And we're always happy to help, but we also have an awesome finishing class, which is something that really to become someone who's happy to give a gift of a knitted item,
Yeah, I
it
guess.
really helps.
You want to get to that stage where you actually want to give it away.
Yeah.
Be proud of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, that's the fine detail that your grandma, your mom may not have gotten to. You know, they might have gotten you on the needles and
Right.
casting on and knitting.
Yes.
But yeah, to get an expert, and we have a woman who is an amazing seamstress, tailor. She makes wedding gowns and
Really?
suits and probably most of her own clothing. So she is really
I
the
wish.
go-to person.
Yes.
Like she's.
So you can bring your project in and do this finishing class, and literally she'll help you kind of
Oh yeah.
make
Yeah.
it look
You come
presentable.
you come with pieces and a few extra little bits, and yeah, get taught how to put it together
I love that.
professionally.
That's
Definitely.
awesome. Now also, I mean, going back the other way, you have beginner classes as well. So
Yeah.
for somebody who's never knit at all.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Completely welcome if you've never set foot in a yarn shop, but you're curious as to what's going on. Yeah, you can come, and you won't necessarily be with all beginners, because a lot of people just need encouragement and a push, even if they're not a beginner. But yeah, if you've never done it and you have a couple hours a week, you can come and join one of our classes.
Now I can imagine a lot of people coming. I know that knitting actually can become a very social thing. A lot of people are in groups and clubs. So I could see people almost just wanting to come because you can sit around, and especially when people start getting really good, they're not even looking anymore.
Yeah.
Which is
Well-
amazing talent.
That's what this is for. We have
Oh, okay,
our cozy
on
spot
couches.
here.
Okay.
And 3 times a week we actually get quite busy in here with groups that are just, anybody is welcome, and it's beautiful.
Really?
Friendships,
I love that.
yeah, excellent friendships have formed here, and it's camaraderie, and yeah.
And it takes you
know,
away from life, right? You come and just sit and
Yeah,
you come up with something.
it's a great thing.
It's good to also be around in that environment, to be around people that can help you to some have different experience levels. And just kind of say, or just watching other people what they're doing, it helps you maybe give you some ideas for the future.
And they get on tangents here. We get to, everybody's knitting the same thing, and it comes out differently, sort of.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So that's the great part. So again, just a reminder that we're at the Wool Bin. So it's located on Kerr Street. So it's south of the highway, and a great little neighborhood down here in the village.
Definitely.
And
Kerr Village,
And
yeah.
and people who've never started, never done it in their lives, come in. You can also go on your website as well, right? You have classes all listed on there.
Woolbin.com.
Yeah.
We have our classes and tips. You can get on our mailing list if you come on in, and then you know when there's going to be a great sale. And
good.
like I say, we are here to help and encourage people to become knitters.
Yeah, because it's a really fun thing to do, and it's something you can do your whole life once you start, right? So it's a nice little place to go. So thank you, Jen. This is
Thank
good.
you so
All right,
much.
that is it for now for Terra at Home. We'll be back after this quick break.
Come and explore the new Terra, where color lives.
Welcome back to Terra at Home. We're now in Terra's kitchen with Chef Rachel, and we're officially inside of November, so we're kind of thinking about gathering around, watching CFL playoffs, things like that, getting closer to Grey Cup. So we're thinking of sort of some fun ideas for hors d'oeuvres and dips for people to come over and hang out around the TV.
Yep.
Great.
So we have 2 things today. We're doing a dip, and we're also going to make some mini individual tacos.
Cool. I like that idea.
Yeah.
It's a fun
So getting started, we're going to start with the meat for the tacos, just so we can get it cooking, and I can show you how we put it together.
Okay.
So this is just extra lean ground beef. I'll pass it over to you. And if you could grab me actually a wooden spoon from that drawer.
Okay. Could do that.
Perfect.
Does that work?
Great, thank you. So we'll get this cooking, and that should
That's
just
the good
take
thing
a couple
about,
minutes.
obviously when you're entertaining a lot, you don't really want to be doing a lot of it. You want to be watching the game or hanging out with your friends. So a lot of this you can do in advance, right? Which
Yeah.
is perfect for entertaining.
Yeah, of course you can. This can be cooked in advance, and we can warm it up in the oven like we're going to do. Mix it with a little bit of taco seasoning
So
on the
that's what
website.
that was taco seasoning.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the website, we can post a recipe for your own taco seasoning if you want.
Okay.
We've done it here on the show before. Okay, so we'll just get that cooking, and we want that to be obviously cooked all the way through, no pink anymore. Okay, so we'll just leave that on medium heat.
Okay.
Okay, so in the meantime, we're going to jump back over and do the dip. Really easy dip, but delicious.
It looks pretty decadent.
A favorite, anyways, in my household. So start off with some cream cheese. If you just leave it out at room temperature for a bit, it'll get soft. Mayonnaise.
Cream cheese, mayonnaise, 2 elements of a dip. So whenever you're eating a dip that's creamy, generally that's what's in it, right?
Usually,
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes some sour cream.
You just best not think about it. Just enjoy the dip.
give this a
So
stir.
good.
Okay, I put in some chopped red onion. So you can do that if you like. Sometimes I put in green onion too if I have it. And chopped jalapenos.
Oh.
So this is like a jalapeno cheddar bacon jalapeno
boy.
popper dip, basically.
Cool.
So chopped jalapenos. Now when you're doing the jalapenos, if you leave the seeds in, that's what carries a lot of the heat. So you're going to get a little bit spicier if you've got the seeds, or you can take them out just to tone it down a bit. But either way, for the most part, jalapenos have a little bit of spice to them, so you're going to find it a little bit spicy.
Okay.
Some bacon. This is about 4 pieces of bacon that we've cooked crisp and
Cooked.
chopped up.
Yep.
So we'll put that in too.
Okay.
We'll keep those jalapenos for after. We could
All
probably
right.
use those.
Let me take that.
Great. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. And mixed cheese. So this is a mixture of cheddar cheese and mozzarella, and I got some Monterey Jack in here as well.
Cool.
So that gives it a bit of a spice too.
This is the kind of dip that starts to, you know, as you're ready to hibernate for the winter.
Yeah.
Just pack on a little extra.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun with it. You know what? It's okay.
So we want to mix this all together, and basically that's it for
Wow.
the dip. So I've got the
But you're right, though.
oven.
It's so straightforward, and right?
It is. Yep, it is. It is fairly easy to do. Preheat the oven to about 350, and then what you want to do is put this in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes or so. Everything will soften up, come up nice and bubbly, warm, so it'll be a nice warm dip.
Oh my.
So yeah, just make sure it's mixed really well.
Okay.
And then I've got just a white bowl here, and we'll put this in. And we're actually going to top it with some Parmesan cheese and panko breadcrumbs.
Okay, I was wondering if you're going to do the breadcrumb thing, because that's actually gives it an
Yeah.
extra little crisp on top, right?
So normally I just kind of spread it out like this, make it even. Perfect. I'll pass that to you if you don't mind. We'll use that cheese actually
Yeah.
for our tacos. Maybe I should turn this down a bit. Okay. That's looking good.
So you could use any breadcrumbs, but the panko is kind of fun. A lot of people are using these more these days.
Yeah,
aren't
I
they?
like the panko just because it's a little more coarse. So a little bit of both, Parmesan cheese, panko. You could sprinkle a little bit of butter on top too if you want, melted butter.
We forgot that element of fat in our dip.
Just to crisp it up a bit. But basically
I
that's
love
it.
it.
Ready to go for the oven.
Wow.
Okay, and we can serve that with tortilla chips or
Great.
whatever later.
That
Okay,
sounds
so
really
we'll
good.
put that in the oven.
Okay.
Okay, I'll pass that to you for now. We'll move
Perfect.
everything down a bit.
Okay.
Okay. So now we'll talk about our phyllo cups. This is what we're going to make the mini tacos in.
Okay.
So just to show you quickly how I do this, it's really easy. This is a package of phyllo. Comes frozen from the grocery store, so you want to make sure that you thaw it out ahead of time. And you kind of have to work fast with it because it dries out fairly quick.
It's really neat, eh?
So open it up. Right, so we got it open all the way. And I usually just move it up out of the way. Yeah, it's very thin and fragile, so you have to be careful with it. So we'll start with one sheet. We've got a little bit of melted butter here. And so we'll just cover the first layer with melted butter so the second layer has something to stick to.
Okay. And basically, I mean, this knowing to make these as easy as it is, but it's just good to make them. You can use these for everything, right?
Yes.
I mean, just even having little phyllo crisps in your salad, everything. So it's just handy to be able to make these. So.
I do make these quite often in my house, and many different fillings can go inside.
And they're so crispy and they taste so good. And
So it doesn't have to be perfect. Basically, I usually just do about 3 or 4 layers.
okay.
and then we can cut it. So we'll cut it, the top layer doesn't get butter.
Okay.
So we'll say we do 3 here. Get this out of the way. Now we just cut it into squares. So I'll just grab a knife here, sorry. Right? And again, doesn't have to be perfect. Can be rough.
And then you get these cute little guys. I love that.
Yeah, so you just push these into the mini muffin tin. You can make bigger ones with a regular muffin tin. Bake at 350 for 7 minutes, and you have
Nice
these.
and brown,
Yep.
and you're good.
Ready to fill.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you're gonna brown the beef. We're gonna continue that. We'll come back and we'll have all of our dip ready from the oven, and we'll just show you how this all comes to be, and it'll be great for your big game party. We'll be back with more.
Live color fully at TERRA, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Welcome back to TERRA at Home, and we're getting ready for a game day with some fun ideas here right now. And okay, so let's kind of recap what we did, because this hot dip is officially hot now.
Yes, it is, and it looks so good. So this is a really easy dip. Some cream cheese, mayonnaise, bacon, jalapenos, red onion, shredded cheese, a mixture of shredded cheese, and then we've got our breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese on top. Bake it in the oven for about 20-30 minutes until it's warm throughout. You can kind of see it bubbling on the sides, and then that's all ready.
There's
so
your
it's nice
match.
and hot.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And these little guys are so cute.
Yeah, so baking it right in this tray again is very convenient. So after the meat was done, we just did the meat with some taco seasoning. Then you spoon it into the already prepared cups. I sprinkled, a little bit of jalapeno on each one, a little bit of shredded cheese on each one as well, and then just back in the oven for a couple minutes just to melt the cheese slightly. And then from here, I mean, there's so many things that you can add to this if you want. Sometimes I put lettuce in there and chopped tomatoes.
What you're saying, you're basically creating like a big tray of nachos, but it's almost a little bit more of a classier version of it. And these are actually easier when you have a large amount of people, because one big tray of nachos just becomes a little bit difficult to share.
Right.
Some people just want their own tray.
Yeah.
So, except you have my dad who would eat the entire tray of them on you. So, a little bit time consuming, so don't invite the guy who eats too much.
Right.
Because he'll eat them all on you. I'll be very disappointed. But they're so great.
Yeah,
they're such a
and
great idea.
I like olives with my nachos, so I would top it off with, a green or black olive. And a little bit of sour cream and salsa too, if you like. I mean, you can put whatever you want.
You could put on the side and let people dress the rest of them if you want it, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
So again, all of Chef Rachel's recipes, of course, are on our website, terragreenhouses.com, and you can go back over all of the seasons and look at all the different ideas that she's come up along the way. But it's perfect, and it just really makes for a fun atmosphere and a fun time to sit around and watch the game. All right, that's it for today, and thanks, Rachel. They look beautiful. Can't wait to try these. Have yourself a good one.